I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network. It is our World Finals preview edition here tonight. My name is Burt Wojcik. Alongside me, as always, big, sexy Adam Rubright, Chris Graham, our executive producer, is here as well. And fellas, the end of the season is almost upon us here, and World Finals weekend. Adam, we bumped the show up a little bit early so you can get yourself on the road. Get some sleep and get ready for that lovely trek through the state of Virginia, which, you know, it's kind of it's the biggest obstacle between here and Charlotte, if you think about it. Like, literally, it's basically 2.5 hours to the Virginia border and then 2.5 hours from the Virginia border. But in between there, it's just that whole pile of Virginia-ness, and it's not fun. It is not fun.
Yeah, and this is the second time I'm gonna do it this year. So
yeah, because we did when we went back to Tennessee, and that.
Not looking forward to that.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, true. But at the end of the rainbow, there's always something special. You know, at the end of that first rainbow, we had Nashville, and now at the end of this one, it's the dirt track at Charlotte. And there's a lot happening down there. And coming up here in a few moments, right after our commercial break here, we're gonna have Logan Schuchart, who picked up his third straight win down at Devil's Bowl Speedway. You got the Drydene 1S wing panel right behind it there, big sexy. And Logan come on the last month of the season, and you know, you mentioned it now. Just a fair warning, folks. We did this interview last night, just because of time constraints, and also Logan had some things to do with at the World Finals night, since they're having a kickoff party at I believe the ZMAX tonight down there. So
yeah, the pavilion.
Yeah, the pavilion, which A1 pavilion down there. Great place to throw cornhole and listen to good music. Anyway, but yeah, Logan, we were talking about last night is how they've been struggling this year, but the last month they've really come on, really gotten their stuff right. They've been in contention almost every single race, it seems like, over the last month, really since the National Open.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, we as we talked about last night, you know, they had their struggles. Most of it was parts related. You know, same problem pretty much everyone had this year, unless you had a massive stockpile of parts. But it was neat talking to Logan just to get his perspective on kind of how the season went and how they can improve on it for next year. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if anyone who's listening saw it. They bumped the start times up for this week,
Yes.
2 hours, because of
Yes, I did
the
see that.
potential nighttime temperatures. So instead of starting at 5 o'clock for hot laps, they're going to be starting hot laps at 3 o'clock, all 3 nights.
Yes. So if you're stuck at work on Friday, you got a shot at seeing some racing before you clock out on Friday afternoon. So let me pull this up here real quick because I just saw that.
Bailey said,
Try and get people
Bert.
to what's that?
Bailey said, Bert.
Oh, hi Bailey. See you down there at Bridgeport this weekend. Yes, we'll be there this weekend down at Bridgeport for the High Banks Classic weekend, which basically is wild card weekend. So yeah, everything is now pushed up 2 hours. So now the sprint car heats will 2:30. Now remember, all qualifying is done tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. So basically, they're gonna have. I don't even think they gotta have hot laps, don't they? On
Yeah, hot
Friday and
laps are at
Saturday.
3 o'clock.
Okay, well, they
From
have
what I
opening
gather out of it.
ceremonies, and then they have right into the heat.
Yeah, for on
So
Friday, Saturday anyway.
okay, well,
Tomorrow
hopefully
night,
they
hot
do have.
laps is at 3 o'clock. So you figure
Yep,
time trials will start probably around 4. Once they get
yep,
all
that's what
three
they
of
have it
them
at.
cycled through for hot laps.
You know what is nice. So I mean, I know they do this for time purposes. Excuse me, but that they run super dirt car heats on Thursday night. I know they do it for time purposes, but sometimes those are some damn good racing when they get the heat, especially when
Yeah,
after that last session, that track is slicked off. Oh, that gets some really good heat
yeah.
racing going on
I'm
there.
a really big fan of having the Super DIRTcar heats on Thursday because it kind of gives them their own little time to shine, so to speak.
Yeah,
You know, you figure 2 sessions of heat races. You have Thursday or Friday night's heat races, Saturday
hmm
night's heat races, and qualifying for the late models and sprint cars. I think that's honestly probably the best thing that they could do rather than try and put what you figure 4, 8, 12 heat races
yeah,
plus 50 lap features for the modifieds and the late models Thursday, Friday, and then what, a 30 lap feature for the sprint cars.
yeah. That's a
Give or
lot of
take.
racing on the track. Plus,
Yeah.
I think it's a good experience for the people that are down there because I know the first year when I went down with you, I think on Thursday when we got down there after it was nice to walk around and kind of take the whole place in because I mean, you want to stay up there and see one session of qualifying, just kind of see what that's like, and maybe your first session of heats. Then, all right, second session of qualifying. Yeah, do you really need to sit around and see that? So it's kind of a good experience, I think, for people then to go explore a little bit because you have the pit pass voucher. You can go walk the pits. I know I did that 2 years ago on Thursday night. Got in there, walked around the pits a little bit, try and see what that was like. Did my t-shirt shop, and then on most of that done on Thursday. And that's a beautiful thing about that because you can get all that stuff done right then and there and not have to worry about missing any heat racing except the modifieds. So, but I mean, there's enough cars down there between the sprint cars and late models that you can divide that up. That you can go watch the heat rate or go see the heat racing for the Super DIRTcar series. And yes, it is going to be freaking cold this weekend. I think anywhere, even though I'd much
What's
rather be Carolina cold
what's the low
than
up here?
Pennsylvania cold. I think high third. What did Peter say, Chris, today on YSL? I forgot. I didn't get a chance to watch that today.
Well, actually, we did not have a YSL today.
Oh,
However, the forecast for Bridgeport does look clean.
hmm
However, highs on Saturday of 55 ish.
yeah.
Overnight low for the day Saturday of 34. It could be cold.
It can be
About
cold.
right on par with Charlotte because I think the last time I looked for down there, it's 50,
Yeah, whatever.
anywhere between 50 and 57 the next 3 days for the high, and then
Do you want to get a
the
kick in the
low
dick right now?
temperature is a
Do you want to get
steady 37 degrees.
Do you want to? Yeah. Do you want to get a kick in the dick right now? Because here's the weather. All right. So Friday, high of 58, low of 35. Saturday, high of 58, low of 38. Sunday, 66, low of 38. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, low 70s. That is a kick in the dick, right there.
Yeah,
It's that,
out
but
of
that
my
goes for everywhere.
sense.
That's for everywhere. But so, all right. Well, so as we'll continue previewing the Outlaws and the World Finals this weekend coming up here. But let's talk about a little bit of the racing we saw last weekend, which obviously Babscott did not have their race, so their next race will be coming up here on the 13th, the final sprint car race on the Northeast, with the final showdown next Saturday. But last week. We got the World of Outlaws in action, and we'll start with Friday night where Carson Macedo, win number 11 on the year at Lawton. I tell you what, Oklahoma has a couple gems. You have Red Dirt and you have Lawton. The All Stars really showcased what those two tracks can do last year. The Outlaws did the same when they went to Lawton last year, and I wish they would go back to Red Dirt because Red Dirt was probably one of the better races that we've seen last year, all over. But Lawton was a ton of fun to watch, and Carson Macedo picking up win number 11 at him.
Yeah, and he picked it up in dominating fashion. I mean, he
Yeah.
was on a rail, gone. I mean, good for him, good for Phil Dietz, the whole 41 crew. I don't think really anyone had a chance to even touch him, to be honest, in my
No.
opinion. I mean, he was just gone.
Yeah, he was on their level. They need. I think I would have been interested to see if they got a yellow. I think to see what Sweet would have had, what Logan would have had. I definitely think that there would have been a better fight. Donnie had a good car there towards the end. Brock unfortunately fell off the. Seemed like he fell off the earth. After starting on the pole. I mean, it's just kind of experience where you have a lot more guys that I feel like that they had the car set up for later in the race than what they did for qualifying to the dash. But Brock found something, so that's always a good sign to see one of our PA boys getting a kind of in the groove there. So good on Brock, but yeah, Carson Macedo was definitely in dominant fashion there on Friday night, and then on Saturday, racing around on Saturday. Let's go with the Outlaws here, and we'll have our interview here coming up with the three-time winner of the Devil's Bowl on Saturday night. Logan Schuchart picked up the three-peat and also in the process tied his grandfather Bobby Allen with 30 World Outlaws now started to drink Sprint Car Series wins. So I know he said, and you'll hear in the interview, he really wanted to do that in Pennsylvania, but just to do it in general, I mean, that's a pretty good feat to have 30 World of Outlaw wins.
It sure is. I mean, you figure the World of Outlaws are one of the most, if not the most competitive group of racing that you'll find. So it sucks because we all know that he wanted it to happen in Pennsylvania, but you know, to do a three-peat at Devil's Bowl, nothing to hang your hat at there either.
No, not at all. And that was a good race. That was a really good race. I actually I was picking Macedo to win, honestly, or Ayrton Jennington. I thought Jennington looked very good out there. It seemed like the car just kind of fell off towards the latter end of that race, but Logan, it just kind of came out of nowhere. It came from mid pack and came up there, got a good run of Macedo and got around him, and that was all she wrote. And as I documented at the start of our at the show here tonight, is that Logan and the crew have found something the last month, and they really could have used this. I think about 2 months ago, right after Knoxville, they really could use it. They're right around Knoxville. They could have used this momentum they got, but you take that, you run that into next year. Then
Absolutely. I look for Logan and the gang to have a strong weekend this weekend. They're always usually pretty fast at Charlotte. Memory serves me correct. They have a couple wins at Charlotte. I think they won down there last year or the year before in the summertime.
yes, at the
So,
I know.
yeah,
During
I
the May
forget the name
race,
of the race. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But
yeah.
I look for them to have a good weekend here to close out the year and then build on this momentum that they got at the end of the season and carry it into next season, like you said.
Absolutely. And then we will look at the final weekend for the Short Track Super Series. Bosworth Sportswear Series fueled by Sunoco have lost to the South region. Their final weekend took place over the weekend down at Georgetown, where Billy Pouch Jr., can you name a hotter modified driver in the state of Delaware? He picked up his 5th big block win in a row at Georgetown. And in my memory, right, did he win a Delaware championship last week in a big block? My memory
I
serves me right. I think
believe
I know
so.
he picked up the small block, I think. Either a small block or a big block win he picked up.
Yeah, one of the two. I
One of the
can't
two.
remember at
I know
the
I can
moment.
look it up real quick. But still, anyway, Billy, he just seems like he got Georgetown figured out right now.
Yeah, I know Billy's coming down to Charlotte and then hustling back to Bridgeport for Sunday. I think out of
I
the
know, I saw that.
local guys modified wise, off the top of my head, the only ones I can think of that went down are Gular and Yankowski, along with Pouch
And
Jr.
Howard's going down. I saw that.
Really?
Yeah. I saw Howard had something for who he's going to be driving with. But yeah, it was uh yeah, Billy Pouch picked up the small block win, and then Jordan Watson picked up the big block win. So, but, I mean, still, state of Delaware, Billy's doing some pretty damn good racing right now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I know Pouch. I mean, you almost can count Maresca as a local. No, Maresca's coming to Bridgeport, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's coming to Bridgeport. So it's
he's
really
coming to Bridgeport
Howard.
because he's out of stuff.
Yeah. So it's going to be really Howard, Pouch, Goulart. I think that's
And
it.
Alex, that's it. Well, Yankowski.
Yeah. So Yankowski, yeah, too. Which I want to get into. I want to get into this too. While we still have, hopefully, I don't know if people are watching this or not, but $150 last night for 5 modifieds. $150 registration free at Cherokee last night.
Who won that?
What
Didn't
the
Ford
hell?
win it?
What the hell are you thinking? Yes, Billy Decker won that.
Oh, Decker won? I thought it was Tim Fuller. My bad. I know
No, it was
Marks
Decker.
won the second feature. Who won the late
Yeah,
models?
Mark. I forgot. It was one of those guys down there. Real quick, hang on. I'll pull that up real quick. Let me see here. But yeah. What's your thoughts on this here? Because this is kind of ridiculous that you have a race that you really didn't promote. Uh, that you get was it less than 30 cars down there? Yeah, it was. Yeah, Decker won the modifieds, and then it was Dalton Wilson picked up the super win. So one of the local guys down there. But still,
My thoughts on it are they didn't promote it enough.
no, they didn't.
And second off, you got to tell people what the registration fee is ahead of time. Not when they get to the gate and say, "Oh, here's $150 registration fee." Plus your pit passes you have to pay for. Plus
Yeah,
most teams pay for the crew to get in. That you're looking at $300-400 just to get in before you even start racing. Let
I think
alone
it was something.
the fuel bill down from the Northeast, the tire bill. It's a mess. You're looking at well over $1,000 before you even start racing this week.
Yeah, I think it was Danny Smith. Danny Smith said he paid like $250 to get in. They gave him $500 back. Like, I mean, that doesn't really pay for your fuel bill though. But still, I mean, it's ridiculous. There was no reason for that to happen. That race could have been bigger. Cherokee looks like a fun track. The 410s were ripping last night. I would like to see maybe a series get down there, and see what they do. But if you're gonna put on um a non-sanctioned show for any series, and you are going to have and was I think this race only announced what maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago maybe. I think I remember I
Not
seen
even.
Speed Sport about it. But still, if you're
Yeah.
gonna have this race, you got to promote the hell out of it, man. I mean, that's a big deal. You got people wanting to come down to Charlotte early, and then I know it's only 45 minutes down to Gaffney where Cherokee is, but still, you got to put all the details out there, lay everything out. I mean, I don't get track promoters, man. I was in that position. Well, not really in that position, but I mean, as a part of the promotional team, you know that you have to put that information out. Why you don't put it out, I don't know. I can't understand it.
Yeah, I can't really understand it either. I mean, it's just silly, in my opinion. That They
because
didn't
you
get
had
it
a
out.
moneymaker. That's a big moneymaker. I feel like, especially for Cherokee. I know it's a late model track, but still, you got people have been saying, "Oh, we want to see 410s down there."
I'd love to see a 410 down there in person.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. So, all right, folks. Well, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will be having our interview with this past weekend's winner with the World of Outlaws Monster Drink Sprint Car Series, Logan Schuchart. He'll be joining us on the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel Hotline. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching the Highside Hustle.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Invasive species are one of the biggest issues facing our natural resources and the environment today. Think of things like Dutch elm disease, the spotted lanternfly, and cats. Perhaps the most dangerous of these is the Homo caput stercoris, commonly referred to as the front plater. An invasive species coming from New York, New Jersey, and anywhere else that has a license plate on the front of their car. The biggest threat from this pest is the spread of excrement. These savages cause harm to many native species and have even spawned an entirely new one, the Beltsville lake monster. Here at the DeWeather Institute for Climate Knowledge, we have a dedicated group of volunteers working tirelessly to clean up the mess. The team of emergency responders for dispersion and skimming, or the turds. But the job is just too big, and we can't do it without your help. So be a hero, be a turd.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network. Burt Wojcik, Big Sexy Adam Bright, as always, here. Ladies and gentlemen, join us here now. Eagle Hotel Hotline. He picked up his third straight win at the Devilsville Speedway this past weekend. Logan Schuchart is joining us here. Logan, welcome to the Highside Hustle, my friend. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? Nice to be hanging out or talking to you a little bit.
Dude, I tell you what, we talked a lot the National Open, it seemed like here. And I mean, it wasn't in victory lane, but you've knocked it off. You guys got the three-peat down Devil's Bowl at a definitely a different track, you know, that you're not used to seeing. It's Devil's Bowl is a very unique track, and you guys seem to really been able to master it the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's pretty different. It's it kind of, I think they said it varies 20 feet from the back stretch to the front stretch. It not many tracks. I guess something you could compare it to is Bedford, back home. I haven't raced there in a while, but kind of how you go up and downhill a little bit. But this one's a little bit different. You kind of go uphill in 1 and 2 and downhill in 3 and 4. But it's bigger half mile. It's definitely unique, like you said. So it's goofy, but we've seemed to go good there for whatever reason. the last few years, and I feel like we've kind of improved on what we have going there and got even better. So this year we didn't qualify as well as what we needed to, but we raced really good in the feature and we were able to pass some good cars and get the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really all that matters. And you guys have certainly had an up and down year for the most part. Um, how much of that do you think goes into from the success you had last year to the success you had this year in a way? How much is that goes how much goes into it of, keeping the same crew guys year in and year out? Like you Ron and Ben and the rest of the gang have kind of really been gelling the last couple of years. And how much do you think of that, of having like the consistency between crew guys, has helped you personally, but also, you know, the longevity of the team?
Oh, I make sure I told those guys after the race the other night that I wouldn't want any other guys in the pits working on my car. I think I have a great race team. Ron and Ben do a fantastic job, along with Bill, my stepdad, with everything behind the scenes and keeping everything organized. My grandfather is a car owner, and Jack Eckert's been along this year. So, but Ron and Ben have helped for a couple years now, and have really, really worked really hard on these cars. And I get the fun part and going out and racing the thing, but really great guys, and share the passion that I have as far as wanting to go out and win. I feel like those guys feel the same way, and are all out here for the right reason. So I really enjoy working with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know Ron
And
and
I
Ben for God.
also like sorry. But
No, go ahead,
Tyler
Logan.
and
Go ahead.
Brandon on
Sorry.
Jacob's car, they don't directly work on my car, but they work really hard too, working on Jake's car, and work with Shark Racing or work for Shark Racing, which is also my team. So it's they do a lot for me also. So can't leave them out.
No, no, you can't. And that actually leads to mind here is that um, it's a big group effort. It seems like with Shark Racing, like it both cars. It seems like that when they click, they click. For both sides here. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of camaraderie here, but it seems like there's a lot of that with the World of Outlaw teams, especially these multi-car teams. And but yet I've seen something that it seems like every like wreck, or there might be a car in the work area. It seems like there's always a Drydene shirt somewhere around there. It don't matter if it's on your car or on Jacob's car or on any car. It seems like that the Drydene team is somewhere on those cars there. How much camaraderie goes into just not only being on to just in the team itself, but also with every team there? Because it seems like everyone wants to see everyone succeed at some point here, especially on the track.
Yeah, I think everybody has a high level of respect for each other. I think we all know what it takes to be out here and how tough it is. Um, And it is, it's competitive. You're racing for a living. You're competing against each other. But when it comes to, the work area and stuff, I think guys don't want to see, you want to beat other teams for the right reason, not because, a lap car got into them and they knocked the front end out of it. You want to see them racing, and, at the end of the year, you can say you beat them because you beat them, really. And I think, like I said, our guys I know, and other teams have a high level of respect for the rest of them. And so when they do come in the work area, you see a lot of guys jump in, and it is a pretty cool thing to see.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. So let's circle back here to Saturday night Devil's Bowl, because you did have to do some passing there. And watching that there at the start of that race, I really thought it was either gonna be Carson or Ayrton Jensen. Um, at the start of the race, and it seemed like you really kind of sneaked in towards that end of the race there and found something to be able to hold off Carson too. Carson's been on a roll lately here, but you guys were just seemed like to be that much better on Saturday night than what he's been. And I mean, then again, it just goes back to you having a three-peat there and having a little bit more of a notebook and a little bit better feel, I think, down there this past weekend.
Sure, I mean, Phil's been there, Carson's crew chief. He's, to me, one of the smartest crew chiefs in the pit area, and it doesn't matter who gets in his car, he's going to be fast. So I knew at the beginning of this year, Carson's a good driver, but Phil's an awesome crew chief, and I knew that was going to be a car that was going to be fast here for sure. But um, he did the same thing to us on Friday. Was leading the race, and he's able to capitalize on lap cars making me move, and kind of did the same thing to him on Saturday. It's just kind of being in third, letting him race with Ayrton a little bit, and kind of let those guys screw each other up, and then I could capitalize on it and make a move. So a lot of guys, I felt like I made time in 3 and 4, just kind of never letting off, wide open through 3 and 4, and gain a lot of speed, and was able to pass a lot of guys through there. For whatever reason, they didn't feel real comfortable. They were running lower or to the middle of the part of the track, and I just kind of hold it wide open and run around the top. So that's always a fun thing to do, especially when you're passing cars.
Yeah, that's for sure. And that's one thing I think I've seen you do a lot more of this year. If I can get my memory right, I think you've been hard charger more times this year than in previous years. What other than obviously starting a night out bad where you were in the position that you had to pass that or more cars during the feature. What do you think the difference is this year compared to other years that you're able to go forward further in a feature?
Yeah, I honestly feel like in years past we've been right there for the hard charger award at the end of the year, the last few years. So to me, that's something that we need to do better. We need to qualify better and put ourselves up front so we're not in that position. It's not guys like David Gravel was right there for the championship until the later part of this year. I don't think that he always passes a lot of cars in the feature, but he's always starting up front because he's always qualifying good. So winning heat races or finishing first or second in the heat race and getting in that dash spot is huge. So that's why we miss out on, I think, a lot. We don't lead the dash appearance category, and I think that hurts us. I feel like we race really well once we get in the feature and get some longer races. I think I can make up for, not making the right decision as far as the car goes sometimes and just racing it hard and making a, 5th or 6th or 7th place finish out of it and kind of write down some notes to try and figure it out next time when maybe we didn't qualify too good earlier in the night. So, but I felt like last year the difference between 2021 and 2020 was we didn't fall out at all last year. We were second in points, and I felt like we struggled at some tracks. We still struggled at Williams Grove. There were some races in the schedule where, we didn't feel very confident, but we came out with a 6th or 7th place finish, and it kept us in the points race. But this year, I felt a lot more competitive. I felt like every race that we showed up to, we were, going to try to win the race or at least, run in the top 5. We just had some DNFs and, Port Royal a few weeks ago going for the lead and running into a lap car. So that's the type of stuff that hurt the points deal. But hopefully that we can, capitalize on not letting that happen next year and run back up front in the points deal.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of people that were picking you to have a shot at the point style this year, and I feel like that 7 wins. I mean, against the Outlaws, yeah, that's pretty good. But I feel like for you guys that wasn't the goal for this year. I feel like you guys were looking for double-digit wins, and I feel like 5th in points is a little bit of a kind of a kick in the gut right now. What does 7 wins mean right now for you guys? Like, was that lower than what your expected total was this year, and what's that put you going into 2022?
Yeah, my goal was a lot higher than 7 wins for sure. I'm not going to lie. It was something I felt like we could be a lot better at. 7 wins. I don't think we're far away from it. We have 12 or 13 second place finishes this year. So those could have easily turned into wins, and then there's your double digits. But, and there was a few, I can think of 4 or 5 races where we were running second or third and something happened right at the end, and we didn't win. But that's not how, you can't think of it like that either. So, and, someone like Brad who's won 14 or 15 races this year, when you look at the, heat races won or dash appearances, he's not always qualifying that well or winning that many heat races, but he's also not having too many second or third place finishes. When he's up there, he's getting the win. So that's where we need to be. And he's aggressive too. That's why he is where he is. Some parts of the year I feel like he didn't make too many friends, but that's why he's in the championship hunt, or why he's going to win his 3rd championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Brad's definitely starting to change the tide a little bit here. It was, for how many years it was dominance of Donnie, but now Brad's is starting to take over, but it's been a lot closer than what it's been the last couple of years. Do you feel like the tide is starting to change now? Is that all right? Next couple of years, there's going to be. It's not just going to be one guy dominating. It may be between you, uh, David, Brad, Carson. I mean, who know? I mean, there was 5 or 6 guys for the first time in a long time had a good shot to win the World Outlaw title, and they're just going to keep going up. Or do you think that somebody's just going to get a run here the next couple of years?
No, I think next year it's going to be pretty tough. I think you're going to have, those top five teams are going to be right there, pretty evenly matched. I feel like we have been at the end of the year here. If you take out, Port Royal and Chico, where we got taken out, we've been I think we have a fifth and a seventh place run somewhere in there. Other than that, they've been all second, third, and wins. So if September 1, we've been, we'd be right there to be winning the thing. And if you take away Donnie's first half of the year, his second half of the year, he'd be, if you only count the second half, he'd be winning the points deal. So I think it's going to be really tough. Like you were saying, the difference between a couple years ago when Donnie was so dominant, I just think they were, him and Ricky Warner were way ahead of the game as far as their cars, and were just dominant. Donnie could go to different parts of the racetracks that other guys couldn't, and they kind of fall off at the end of the race. And it's kind of a little different with Brad. Like I said, he's kind of more just racing aggressive, and I think guys are going to catch up to that or not let that happen as much. So I feel like everybody's going to be on top of their game. Like I said, the 41 car is going to be good. Brad, Donnie, Gravel, and then I hope we can improve and be right there also.
Consistency seems to be the overall king of motorsports these days, and how the guys on the Outlaw Tour have been picking up as many wins as they have, and let alone championships and whatnot. What can you guys do as a whole to improve your consistency so that way you're back in the title hunt this time next year?
Well, the parts deal, it's hard to get parts a lot this year. So, we had, last year we had no engine failures at all. This year, we had a few due to running engines a lot longer than what they should have, and we knew that, but we also couldn't get parts. And I don't want to say that as far as, Michael Newman does an awesome job for us, but he said the same thing in his Open Red interview. So, and he works day and night for us, making sure that everything's right. And he knew that some of that stuff was being overrun, and we just couldn't do anything about it. So, like I said, we got into some, knocked front end. We had both races at Bristol where we were running up front. One night a wing collapse, the other night was an engine failure. So those are the things, as like I said, as far as the points deal, because I feel like we are consistently fast, and we're making the right decisions, we're doing the right things with the car. I'm trying my best to be smart inside the car, and they're the things that lead to championships. So that's we just have to fix some of those um, small things, and me stay on top of it inside the car.
Yeah, absolutely. And Newman's Racing Engines has really kind of got a great name with you guys. I mean, with their reliability and their consistency, it's really shown. As you said, last year no failures. This year, obviously, with everything going on, there's not much you can do. But you guys are really bringing a lot of names in here, like Newman's, and also Drydene has really stepped up their game here with you guys too, from being a kind of a low buck team on the Outlaws to now being a contender almost every year. And what Drydene has brought not only to you guys but to the sport, I feel like that it's kind of it's a great thing for it. I always joke around that say Drydene and Nas are taking over the world. It just seems like that right now, but what has Drydene meant? I mean, obviously it meant the world for you guys here, but really it seems like you guys have had a tremendous relationship with them everywhere you go. It seems like there's always, some kind of hospitality going on with them. And It just seems like there's an atmosphere ever since you kind of got into the sport with basically with them on your car. It seemed like.
Yeah, they started helping us in the middle of 2018, and it's awesome to see their company grow, the Drydene brand grow, and our Shark Racing wouldn't be anywhere close to where we are without them, no doubt. So the position we're in and being able to um, race, consistently and stay up front wouldn't have happened without them. So it's Dave Klinger, Al Johnson, the whole Drydene team has been awesome. Like I said, it's been awesome to grow their brand and grow our partnership together the last few years, and it's been really cool to have them on board, and it's looking forward to what the future holds together.
Absolutely. And I'll circle back here to back to the racing side of things here real quick. Um, let's talk a little bit about Pennsylvania because that is such a massive deal with the Outlaws. Next year, you guys are going to be in Pennsylvania 10 times next year in Central PA. I mean, that's a lot more than what y'all in Central PA. It's about 2 or 3 more races, I think. It is so important to be consistent in Central PA, and you guys are starting to get that. You guys have had good runs down at Williams Grove now. It seems like y'all are on the verge of that. Port Royal, you do have a win up there, and you should have had a win this year until the front end went away on you, or got in that wreck there. But Pennsylvania, it seems like if you're going to win a championship, you have to be consistent in here, don't you?
Yeah, especially when we go there as many times as we do, you gotta be good when you go to Pennsylvania, and that was what in 2020 when we were so good in the points deal, we still struggled when we went home to Pennsylvania. So, we ran good in the National Open. We were in third to Donnie and Larson, but I believe that was our only good run there all year. So, um, Williams Grove was still a tough one for us, but then this year it seems like we found something. And so, I used to hate going back to Williams Grove. I still love Port Royal. I like going back to Lincoln because I felt like we ran good there. But Williams Grove always seemed to throw me for a loop and couldn't seem to figure it out. So I always hated going there. But now, after this year, I feel confident going back. I feel good about what we have going on, and 10 races is a huge chunk of the schedule. So if we can have some good runs there, there's some outlaw teams that do struggle when they go to Pennsylvania. So that could play as an advantage maybe for us as far as the point system goes.
You hit on the Grove there for a second. That seems to be everyone's Achilles heel is Williams Grove. What is it about the place? I mean, I know you've probably have more experience there than what a lot some of these guys do weekly, or not. I wouldn't say weekly, but on the tour do there from being running there. A couple years back. What it's got to be about 10 years ago now, or something like that. I think it was from running there, and you know, it seems like that everyone at some point struggles at Williams Grove, but when they hit it, boy, they're up there for a long time there. What is it about the Grove that is so tricky?
It's just way different from any other racetrack, paperclip type of racing. Um, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but
Nobody
it's
watches
not
this.
it's not the type of racetrack. It's not an Eldora or a small quarter mile where if your car's not 100%, you can kind of
Mhm.
gas it up and make something work by racing it hard and being aggressive. Your car has to be good at Williams Grove to make it around there, and um, I don't feel like you can make up for a bad car at Williams Grove. The guys that run good, their car is made for that racetrack. And I always use the 69K as an example. That car, if you took it to Chico, California, it's going to not even make the show, but it's made to go around Williams Grove and Port Royal, and you can see it. That's why they're so good there. And it's made for that racetrack. So it's it's just one of those tracks where it's your car if you make it right or you can build a race car just for that racetrack, you can spend time on it and make it right.
That's true too, because you look how bad they struggled at Arizona when they went out there. They didn't look good at all out in Arizona, and you're right. I never really thought about that, Logan. That's a good point about building a specific 69K for the Grove and Port Royal, and they went out to Arizona. That's exactly your point. That they did not look good out there at all when they went out back in January.
Well, and in their defense, they could have maybe made their car go good there, but they're just different racetracks. Arizona, the race, that Arizona Speedway that they went to, that's totally different from what we have at home. So they might just not have hit on it that night, and I'm sure they could have got it going pretty decent there. But it's I just use Chico, California as an example because it's when we came from running at home, the big half miles and they're smooth. You go out there and it's rough and small, and you need the low end torque and compression to pull you out of the holes and the corners. It's not anything that we have in Pennsylvania.
Well, Path Valley maybe, but we need more shows at Path Valley though.
Yeah, I've never seen it rough though.
True.
I would love to see an Outlaw show at Grandview. I don't know why.
I would like,
but
I would like to see that too, and I know Ronald Helmick would be very excited if that ever happened.
Oh, he would be
Oh my.
pumped for that.
Ron would have you guys first at the gate if that was the case. You and
for sure.
you guys. Oh my god, you guys be the first one in. He'd be probably there. Oh my god, that boy. I mean, we all went the Outlaws at Grandview. We all do. I mean, let's be honest here. You're in Pennsylvania. You want the Outlaws at Grandview, and hopefully it happens. I do. It's just in this day and age, it needs to happen, man. I mean, what track? I mean, I know the Outlaw schedule's set right now, but if you had one track that you had to put on the schedule for next year, and we'll get into asking about the points real quick, and we'll get ready to wrap this up. But what track would you put on the World of Outlaws schedule?
Track what I put on there, it's not on there. I would go back to Oswego in Canada because I love that track, and we haven't been there in a few years, and not many people know it, and I don't feel like many people would want to go back, but we were so good there. It's like one place that I feel like we almost have a cheat code if we were to go back there. So, but probably won't go back for a few years, but that's one that comes to mind.
That's a good one. Oswego is a very good track.
The slickest racetrack I've ever been on. It's like racing on ice.
Really? Well, it's Canada,
yeah,
so
definitely.
If I was a promoter, in general, I wish I had enough money that I can reopen Rolling Wheels. Because I never saw a sprint car race there, and I would absolutely love to see a sprint car at Rolling Wheels.
The place was fast. I raced there for sure, and it was fast. That's all I can think of or say is it was fast.
I was gonna say because didn't it rain like hell that night too? Didn't it?
Was just because like you go to a place like Bristol, and you're going really fast, but there's walls, and you can kind of use the walls to guide yourself. Rolling Wheels felt like if you screwed up, you're just ending up in the trees somewhere. So it felt a scary fast.
What was your thoughts on Bristol this year? How'd that feel for you guys?
It wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be. Honestly, I thought it looked, from watching the old videos, it looked like it was going to be faster just because cars have 100, 150 more horsepower than what they did back in the day when they were there. So I thought it would be faster than what it was, but I just don't think our wings allow us to go too much faster than what they did back in the day. I do wish it paid more. I think as big of a deal as they made out of it, if Todd Quirin can make $100,000 to win at Houston, which is an awesome facility, but it's also a lot smaller. If he can make that $100,000, why is Bristol only $25,000 to win? So that's what I think about that.
Attaboy, Logan. I love that raw honesty. Hey, while we're on topic of money here, before we let you go here, World of Outlaws came out with a new purse fund, over $1 million on it, $200,000 to win next year. I feel like you guys are gonna be gunning for that, aren't you?
That's the plan, man. I want to just be a World of Outlaw champion and put my name on the list, but $200,000 sounds pretty nice.
That it does. Well, hey, buddy,
I have
one
more question before we wrap up here.
Go ahead, bud.
From the other night, on Saturday night, what did it mean to you to tie your grandfather on the wins list for the World of Outlaws?
Yeah, it's pretty special moment for sure. It's not, something that would have been really cool, almost was picture perfect at Williams Grove racing his car, how cool that would have been, but wasn't meant to be. And then I just, hope to be able to do it yet this year. And, knew we had a good chance going back to Devil's Bowl, a place that we've been so good. Wasn't sure starting 8th, but really actually didn't even think about it until somebody said it to me, because I honestly forgot about it. I was just so excited to get back and win a race. And, afterwards somebody told me, and it's just, you know, special to me that I'm able to do that, accomplish that with him. The person that's taught me racing and been my mentor since I was a very little kid, and sat on his lap when I was 3 years old and raced go-karts, and just taught me everything I know. So let alone being my car owner, also being my grandfather, and I'm able to win those races with him by my side is pretty awesome.
Well, I think this is kind of a unanimous decision here now, but we'll have to run the throwback car every time in Pennsylvania now, I think. That thing is
Yeah.
badass. I think you
I
have to,
really
man.
wanted to see it at Port Royal. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that thing should have been a Port Royal. You have better luck in that. You've had better luck in that car in Pennsylvania than what you had in a while, man. So
When
Yeah.
I first saw it walking through the random gas park or the random parking lots in Knoxville, I was like, "That's it. That is the car that." Yeah, I saw it and I was like, "Man, that is awesome."
yeah,
In my opinion, it
It
was
was
the
pretty
best
cool.
car.
My
Car
stepdad, Bill Klingbeil, did a really cool job with that. He did a great job getting that put together. Iron Stag was responsible for getting it done for us. So thanks to them. The fans loved it. It was really cool that we were able to run that throwback in Knoxville. And then definitely a special shout out and thanks to all our partners and sponsors that let us run it at the National Open also, because it didn't show them off very good at all. So Drydene, C&D Rigging, NGK Spark Plugs that are a huge help to us that we couldn't do it without. They kind of took a back seat and let us run that thing. So it was pretty cool. Definitely didn't show them off, but they enjoyed it too. So it's pretty neat.
that is pretty neat. Well, you mentioned some of them here. Let's get the rest of the sponsors out of the way. But who else you got to thank for helping?
Sure, we'll try and get them all out. Williams Grading, Pell's Tire Service, Mike Palumbo, like I said, Iron Stag. We got Polaris, Taggart's Polaris, and then all our sponsors as far as the race car goes. Triple X, Smith Titanium, DMI, Wing Dynamics, Newman's Racing Engines, FK Shocks. Everybody that's a part of this team. Trying to think, hope I didn't miss any, but there's a lot of people to thank that puts this team on the road. And System One, a lot of people that put this team on the road and work very hard to make shark racing what it is.
Hey, you know what, buddy? You work your ass off to go and make shark racing on the map as well. You and Jacob have made Pennsylvania proud. I know you guys aren't posse members anymore, but you do represent us very well out there on the road. And happy to call you guys friends. And best of luck to you this weekend down in Charlotte. But go get a win, and we'll be talking to you hopefully a little bit more next year. Hopefully, we'll be doing some victory lane interviews, second place interviews. That'd be pretty badass to do with you guys. Do a Pennsylvania interview or win in Pennsylvania here with you guys.
Yeah, man, I really want to make that happen. That'll be pretty special to me to win. We have a Port Royal win, but to win at either Lincoln or Williams Grove, really, hit home. We've been out here for a long time. Next year will be our 9th year on the Outlaw Tour, and we haven't won a race at home. So at Williams Grove or Lincoln. So I want to make that happen definitely in 2022.
It's time to do it, buddy. Go do it. All right, buddy. Good luck this weekend. Hopefully, we talk to you again soon, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
Invasive species are one of the biggest issues facing our natural resources and the environment today. Think of things like Dutch elm disease, the spotted lanternfly, and cats. Perhaps the most dangerous of these is the Homo caput stercoris, commonly referred to as the front plater. An invasive species coming from New York, New Jersey, and anywhere else that has a license plate on the front of their car. The biggest threat from this pest is the spread of excrement. These savages cause harm to many native species and have even spawned an entirely new one, the Beltsville lake monster. Here at the DeWeather Institute for Climate Knowledge, we have a dedicated group of volunteers working tirelessly to clean up the mess. The team of emergency responders for dispersion and skimming, or the turds. But the job is just too big, and we can't do it without your help. So be a hero, be a turd.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network. Burt Wojcik, Adam Rubright, we're back live with you, folks. Yeah, hi. Yeah, we're back in the flesh. Yeah, there we are. So, hope you all enjoyed that interview with Logan Schuchart. That was a lot of fun to do last night, and glad to have Logan on the show. And best of luck to him and Jacob and the entire Shark Racing team this weekend down at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the dirt track at Charlotte, for the NGK NTK World of Outlaws World Finals this weekend. And Adam, I am jealous of you guys going down there. I love Charlotte. We've had a ton of fun every year we've been down there, and it's bittersweet to be not going this year. I mean, but other priorities are in the way. I'll say here in just a second. But yeah, you're in for a treat this year. I just pray to God it's not dusty as shit as it was last year.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we'll see. From watching the racing that was down there last week, it didn't look terrible, dust-wise, but then again, it's a lot less horsepower than what we're going to see this weekend.
Well,
Overall,
I think that's
I'm
a good
really
indication, though. It's a good indication.
yeah. I'm really, really looking forward to see how it shakes out. I can't wait to get down there.
Mhm.
So, see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I think this weekend is going to be it's going to be fun. I think there's a lot of good racing everywhere. So if you're near a track, go watch it. If you don't feel like freezing, I mean, obviously it's not the same as being there, but you got Dirt Vision, you got Flow, whatever. So, before we make our picks, I want to get your thoughts. And Chris, if you want to bring you in on this, NASCAR Championship weekends this weekend. Alice Bowman and Denny Hamlin. I love it. I love the rivalry. I love what it presented. But Denny Hamlin, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
To me, that was a hasty fit.
Mhm.
Plain and simple. I mean, the race didn't go the way you wanted it to, but you still advanced. Did he advance? Is he one of the final four now? Or no?
Yes, he is.
Yep.
Okay, so
Tim Larson, Truex, and Elliott.
if you made it to the final four, why are you acting like a little bitch? You made it to the final four. Let your driving do the talk next week, and potentially, well, this week, and potentially go out there and steal a championship away from one of the most dominant performances we've seen on the track in quite some time. I mean, I've wasn't necessarily a fan of stage racing, and then when they introduced this whole championship thing, and then the top four that advanced, like, no, come on. I mean, any race fan that has even an inkling of a clue can understand that Larson deserves to win this championship. He's, as much as that pains me to say that,
I
Larson deserves to
disagree.
win the championship. I mean, okay, so why do you disagree, though?
For the
Give me your
same
thoughts on the
reason that
Hamlin
the
thing too,
people
Chris.
that kick and scream about Jimmy Johnson's championships, or anybody else's for that matter, they won the championship under the points format, the system that was in place at the time. It is a completely legitimate championship. Shut up. Kyle
I mean,
Larson deserves to win a championship if he beats the other three on Sunday. And Bert,
I mean,
what
I
the
don't
fuck? Like
disagree
black
with you.
light now?
I don't know. Don't worry
I
about my
don't
camera.
completely disagree with you there, Chris. But
No, I don't agree,
I mean,
disagree with you either, bud.
how would you feel if the World of Outlaws did the same thing?
Well,
I would feel like you win the championship how you win the championship. What's the rules in place? Win under that
Sean,
system.
come on. Sean. Sean Lyer, 34 Motorsport, decking in with his love for Denny Hamlin. Supporting Denny Hamlin. I see that, Sean. Good boy. Yeah, I think that I agree with that in a sense that if you this is the times we're in, this is what we have to deal with. So it is the championship. Whoever wins on Sunday, they've earned
Yeah,
the championship, no doubt. But if we're looking at this through every other aspect of racing that there is, if Kyle Larson does not win this championship on Sunday, it is a damn crime in my mind. That's just me, but everyone's opinions are I agree with that, but in my mind, just because I think we're so used to that with every other form of motorsport, that no one else has this playoff format. No one else has the chase or the stages. But is that Kyle Larson should be your champion this year. And again, if he doesn't win it, I think it's a damn crime.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, imagine going into Charlotte and you have, say, Brad Sweet, Donny Schatz, David Gravel, Logan Schuchart, top
Mhm.
four. Whoever finishes ahead of each other is the winner. Like,
Right.
the person who squeaked their way in fourth could win a championship when the other three drivers have had legitimately better seasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it doesn't make much sense, but to each their own. I mean, it makes it interesting, fan perspective wise, that you go
That's what
into.
it's a ratings grab. It's a ratings grab.
Yeah. That's all it is, 100%. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it shakes out on Sunday evening. But
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion,
I think Larson wins it though. I think he does.
it's his to lose.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, he's the best car, if not the best car, in NASCAR right now. He just needs the luck to go his way and not have some sort of, say, pit penalty that'll cost him a championship. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like,
Yeah. You're right on that. You're right on that, bud. So also this weekend while we
Interesting
have
comment here from Jennifer Gasly, and the print is tiny, so I'll read it for you. I agree that
Yeah.
it's the system in place, and yes, the format says who wins the race wins the championship. Not quite, but semantics. How about we get rid of the format and go to a straight points, the most consistent, who gets the most points wins? This format could basically lose a championship due to an ill-timed flat.
Jen, you nailed it. It's a Winston. Go
yeah,
back to the Winston Cup format. Go back to the Winston
Here's the
Cup
problem.
format.
That's not going to happen.
No, it's
So
not.
I'm on board if somebody says we want to change the system, but go back to 1993 is not an answer. So the question I would pose to you both, insightful minds, what is the format then?
1 point per position. 5 points for leading the most laps. 5 points for leading a lap in a race.
But you can't get rid of the chase, the playoffs, whatever you want to call them. That's not going away.
Oh, I thought. I thought that was. I
Within
thought that's what you were
that
talking about.
concept, because it's just too good in terms of the ratings and everything else that come into
Oh
play.
yeah.
It truly
Oh, I
does
agree.
give Game 7 moments multiple times per season. Think about it. It's almost like the hockey playoffs. Is there anything better in sports than Game 7 hockey?
Oh hell no. Hell no.
no.
But see, and that's the thing. NASCAR can go to this Game 7 format anytime they want with this. But if you could not go with the chase form, if you could not go with the Winston Cup format where it was throughout the entire season, give me the old chase format back then. Give me the old chase format. I think can
I
we
think
say
it,
that if you want to say about that where it's over
I
the
think it
last
should
10 races
honestly
then?
go instead of if you win, you advance to the next round. Get rid of that. I don't disagree with getting rid of the chase. Keep the chase. The 12 best drivers at the end of the regular season advance to the chase.
Mhm.
Okay. After
Yep.
the first three races, 4 races, take that from 10 or 12 to 8, and then from 8 to
So go in
4,
like what if you
and
drop it in
then
3 race increments now? Drop it in 3 race increments.
okay, either way, you go from 12 to 8 to 4 to 2. The
Here's
people, the
here's
people
your
who at
Jen.
issue.
Yes.
for the
Here's
Right
your
very
on that,
last
issue.
Jen.
race,
You can't get rid of the Game 7 moment, and that's the NASCAR term on this. Well, the Brian France term anyway. You have to have a scenario where if you win the final race of the season, you win the championship. That
Okay.
has to be a part of it.
I'm not saying get rid of that completely.
Last 3 races.
I'm not saying get rid of that completely. I'm saying take it from 10 or 12 to 8 to 4 to 2. Knowing the two best drivers that ran the regular season plus the playoffs who amassed the most points comes down to those 2 drivers at Phoenix or wherever they choose the last race is instead of 4. I mean, 4 is it is what it is, but you get 2 drivers, that have a legitimate shot at winning the championship in one race. It's your game 7 moment, and you have all that hype leading up to it as who's the 2 best drivers that are going to make the final 2. You know what I mean? There's 2 teams in the Stanley Cup for game 7, not fucking 4.
Yeah, and Sean, I think you're mean Kyle Busch. Now that's the one that really turned me off to this playoff format. Is when Kyle Busch had that leg injury, and then he comes back. He goes on that stupid, dumb. He goes on that you'll never see again somewhere, and then comes back and wins the championship when he should have been long out of it. I mean, he worked his way into the playoffs and all that. I get that, but in my mind, I don't know. Like I said, I'm more of an old schoolist, so that's mine. But if you have to stick with this format, you take the top 4, best of 3 races. You go 1 point increments. You go 1, and if you want that game moment, you only get like Formula One. Then you only get points if you're in the top 10. If you want that game 7 moment, you only get points if you're in the top 10.
I think that would solve a lot of problems, quite frankly, because things like the damaged vehicle policy and the 5-minute crash clock and all that BS.
Get that shit out of here.
That all goes away. If you only score points through the top 10, maybe top 12, there's no incentive to race hard for 13th.
Yeah.
There's no incentive to race hard for 20th and possibly cause the wreck. You're racing for purse money at that point.
Yeah, true. Very true on that. Let's see here. Cole Wise. Oh, get your camera back on the 10th. Good to hear, buddy. So hopefully we'll see you down at Susky next weekend. And I have to catch up with you. Yeah, that's true there, Chris. But I feel like that if you want that game 7 moment, I feel like that you got to go with the Formula One. You only pay for top 10 then. That's how you're going to get your game 7 moment. Unless, say, somebody like Larson, like he just did what he just did. Say he goes out, you win Texas, and then let's just say figuratively he won Martinsville last week. It's pretty much done then.
Correct.
It's pretty much you lose your game 7 moment. So
I am not a Kyle Busch fan by any stretch of the imagination. But what he did in 2012 was about as incredible of a half a season as we've ever seen in racing.
Oh, yeah.
What Kyle Larson is doing this year is absolutely unreal. But you still have to show up and win this weekend, or at least run really damn well. I will say, I think this is the year where the first time under the Game 7 moment format that the race winner is not your championship winner.
I could see that happening. It feels like it has that making this year, but it's gonna come down to something stupid, and whoever is gonna be leading at the end is championship. It's it's gonna be fun. Let's just say that, folks. It's gonna be really fun this weekend, and I like I said, it does make for a good moment, good talking points. But again, in my personal opinion, if Kyle Larson does not win this championship, it is a damn crime against racing. But it is what it is. So we'll see what happens. So anyway,
And final point on this one here.
Yeah, go ahead, bud. Go ahead.
Going into the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Championship finale weekend at the dirt track at Charlotte, there's nothing to play for.
Yep.
No, Brad Sweet literally has to sign in tomorrow night.
That is correct. And it is game over.
He is the champion.
You know, when you tune into the race on Sunday at Phoenix, you're going to watch something incredible.
Yeah.
That is not true for the dirt track at Charlotte this weekend.
From that point of view,
Because
yes, I agree with that. But
realistically all 3 points championships already spoken for.
yeah, Shepard locked up the late model championship a while ago. I think who's Shepard or both Shepards, I think, locked up both championships. I think Matt Shepard locked up the Super DIRTcar, and then Brandon locked up the late model, 4th in a row, by the way, for from Brandon. And then Sweet, all he's got to do is present the car on Saturday night, and he clinches the title. So, but here's the thing: I think that you got to look at it too. All right, that you're going to the racetrack, you're going to go see the race. Sometimes you're not thinking about points, and when you go out there and you see, it feels like that. Yeah, at the end of the season, points money's good, but when you're racing for like your weekly allowance here, that's when it gets very interesting, I think. And I think you're gonna. I disagree with that. You're gonna see something spectacular, I think, this weekend. If they hit track good, every year down in Charlotte, the modifieds or late models have steal the show down there over the sprint cars. They have. So I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah, that exactly.
I am agreeing. I'm
Jen,
not
we're on the same wavelength
disagreeing with
tonight.
you and Jennifer here, by the way. I'm talking about championship scenarios.
Oh yeah, champion scenarios. Yeah, I
There
agree with
is
that.
no chance of something incredible happening at the dirt track at Charlotte and somebody out of nowhere wins a championship. Where the hell did Martin Truex come from? The dude could be a 2-time
Exactly.
Cup Series champion because he was really consistent in the playoffs. Isn't that what everybody's bitching a fit and wanting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, if you're right about that.
To be fair, though,
Because
last year's, well, not last year's, the years before World Finals came down to literally Saturday night in all 3 divisions. So
yeah,
I think it speaks a lot this year for the inconsistencies that a lot of people had simply because of parts failures or parts going bad or not being able to get parts. You didn't have those big, long, consistent runs that people had throughout the entire season.
yeah, I agree, and we hit on that with our Logan interview there about the trouble with people getting parts. So, and how long they had to run a motor for a couple extra weeks than what they should have just because they couldn't get parts for it. So, I mean, obviously in dirt racing, we're a little bit different, but it's affecting the World Outlaws at that point. It's not the tire shortage that we're seeing on the on the asphalt side of things or another like the late models, uh, the late model side of things, but there are shortages hitting sprint cars and it's in different formats. So hopefully all this is gone and out of the way soon. All right, what's next for this weekend? Adam, since you are going down, what do you got?
Schuchart Friday, Shots wins Saturday. I'm gonna say Mahaney takes a win in the modifieds Friday. Shepard wins Saturday. Late model side of things, gonna go long shot. I think Fergie's gonna win in that throwback car
Okay.
on Friday night and Overton Saturday.
All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with on Friday night. We'll go. Let's see here. Right now, I'll go Gio Selzy because Gio's been very good down in Charlotte. He does have a win down there. Yeah, he does have a win down there. Let's see here. Saturday night, I think I'll take Sweet on Saturday night. Modifieds, I'll go Matt Williamson to sweep the weekend. Williamson sweep the weekend. And then or else here's a dark horse for you. Watch him out on Friday on either night. He's always been good down there. Brett Hurd. Fuck it. Brett Hurd. Dark horse. One of those nights. We did see him win back there in 2018. That was badass to watch when he won 2018. See him to see the corporate jet win. Probably they might be his last 2 wins. Really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
If Eastern States and the World Finals, they might be two of his last wins that he's had. And then late model side of things, Jimmy Owens and Brandon Overton. I'll take those two. And then all three of us, Cup title, I'll start Larson. Larson wins the race and wins the Cup title.
Blaney wins the race. Larson title.
Chris?
Man, this is a tough one. I like the Ryan Blaney pick, by the way.
That is a good
I'm
pick.
going to go a little throwback nostalgia here. Brad Keselowski gets the win.
Ooh.
He
the
once
send-off
won
from Penske.
bad for Penske in his last ride.
Mhm.
And I think, man, my gut tells me Chase Elliott wins this.
2 in a row for Chase. I wouldn't be hard.
Barely does what he needs to do. Larson goes out and wins a lot of races. Chase Elliott just seems to get the job done.
Can we all agree on this pact here though? Anyone but Hamlin? Can we all agree on this pact?
Yeah.
As long as Danny Hamlin doesn't win it, I won't be disappointed twice this week because the goddamn Braves won last night. And I seem to be the only one really upset about it because I hate how much Atlanta has tormented me and disappointed me my entire life for being a Phillies fan.
They weren't even that fucking good.
No.
The last time the Braves had an actually decent team was 99. Like, we weren't even old enough to realize what fucking sports was yet.
So you're saying that, well, speak for yourself there, Chief. I was a junior in high school, you prick. You're telling me, actually, no, that would have been senior year of high school for the Fall Classic in 99. Anyway.
Well, yeah, but still, 95 they won the World Series, but they won. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know how
were
many
in the
NL East
series in
titles.
99.
But so you're telling me that the best team in baseball didn't win the World Championship this year?
Oh shit!
The horror.
Oh shit! Well,
by the way,
Hustle
fantastic
here,
year
folks.
for SiriusXM. They are a stakeholder in the Atlanta Braves.
Are they really?
Yes. And they are 30% co-owners of Meyer Shank Racing.
Yes,
so
they are.
SiriusXM, as a sports franchise owner, has won the World Series and the Indianapolis 500 in the same year.
And guess what? We had one of those guys on this show. Look at that. Look at freaking that. How about that? Huh. So that's pretty.
I mean,
cool.
we're not necessarily trying to turn this into a baseball show here, but I mean, in my opinion, the best team did win the World Series because, as much as it pains me to say that, there hasn't been a more resilient team that I can think of in recent memory that has literally lost from injuries and yada 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 to all the shit that they went through mid-season. Like mid-season, they weren't even a 500 team.
Yeah, Phillies were ahead of them.
Yeah, so that's from where they were mid-season to where they ended. As much as it pains me to say that, that's pretty freaking impressive.
So this to me is basically like when the Giants won the Super Bowl.
The best team on the field won.
I'm so pissed off.
The best team in defeat and on paper didn't even make the World Series. So
yeah. So this to me is more like when the Giants won the Super Bowl. I'm pissed off, but either way, I was gonna be pissed off on who won the World Series. So it's like like when the Giants went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots. But on the bright side, it wasn't the Mets and it wasn't the Cowboys. And Dallas is not that good this year. And no one can change my mind. I am a stubborn ass Eagles fan. Anyone that tries to change my mind, it is happening. Don't even try to argue with it. Not happening. Dallas sucks. Anyway,
I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just going to go to bed. I have to drive.
Yeah, you got to drive. Anyway, yeah. So if you see Adam down at Charlotte this weekend, go say hi to him. I'll be at Bridgeport, which got the word tonight. We'll be back behind the mic on Saturday night with the great Barry Angas. Looking forward to that on Saturday night. Gonna have a lot of fun with that, and that's gonna do it for this edition of the Highside Hustle. And before we go, Chris, what's coming up on the national, buddy?
National Racing Network this weekend will have live flag-to-flag coverage of the 100-lap battle at the Bull Ring at Airport Speedway. Our buddy Casey Kreider checking in the comments tonight will be on the mic for us. Really looking forward to that one. And the full slate of iRacing stuff during the week before you knuckleheads come back on Wednesday next week to recap the World Finals.
Yes, sir, we will. And Casey, have fun down there, bud. Wish I was working with you again this weekend, but you'll do just fine down there, man. Love to work with you back at the Linda's National Open, and you got a hell of a future, buddy. Proud to call you a friend there. So that'll do it for this edition of the Highside Hustle. Once again, folks, thank you so much for joining us here. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Again, 34 Motorsports for the ticker down below with all the recaps for this week. And of course, thanks for Logan Schuchart joining us tonight on the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel hotline. So for everyone here at the National Racing Network, that is Big Sexy Adam Rubright, Chris Graham, our executive producer. My name is Burt Wojcik. Keep on hustling, folks. Enjoy the weekend. Stay warm. We'll see you next week on the Highside Hustle.